Yeah. Right, 101. Got it. Ready to go. I still have a cheat sheet because I still don't know what I'm doing. All right, I'd like to call meeting to order. If anyone has had a chance to review the minutes, I could get a motion to approve them. Second.
I know.
Yeah, you wrote that.
Full minute. Yes. 3 copies, anybody else?
Sure.
4?
I'm good, thanks.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve them.
Thank you. And a second.
A second.
Thank you, John. Paul. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, we will do a quick little round table of introductions again, because we have Karen Anderson with us, who is right now going to be a part of the commission as a non-voting member. And I want to say welcome and thank you so much for finding some time to be a part of this effort. And Karen, do you want to give us a little little intro for yourself?
Sure. I have been working with, I won't say working with, but I have had my heart into sustainability issues since, I don't know, 50 years.
She's original.
Yeah, I'm Rachel Carson, but Mr. Fuller, those sorts of things.
Fantastic.
But it's just something that's sustainability as a whole has always been a huge part of my desires. And I think that it's super important. And I listened to, so I just moved to St. Louis from upstate New York less than 2 years ago. And when I moved here, I wanted to find something that I could do. I retired in New York. I came here and said, what can I do that is aligned with my values? And so I started doing a lot of work. I am amazed that Webster Groves has so much going on. It was overwhelming to me. And so I've joined a whole bunch of groups, and then I discovered that the Sustainability Commission is actually doing good work. It's not just a commission in name, so that was really cool. And I explored possibility of joining. I listened, I sat in on a Zoom of your meeting. It may have been the last one or the one before. Thank you. And you all went around the table and you said, what's your one solution to sustainability? And one that I didn't hear that I'm really passionate about is energy conservation. So that to me, that's my number one.
Awesome. I'm glad you remembered that little tidbit and shared that with us. That's great. And Karen also had some grant writing experience and yeah.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Wait, what's your phone number?
Yeah, that's odd. Yeah, it sounds like.
555-555-867.
She doesn't know what that is.
Guys, we'll show.
Carson probably does. Her parents will sing it for her.
Probably.
Janet. All right, awesome. Well, Karen, thanks for being here. And then we'll just quickly go around the table to introduce ourselves so Karen knows who we are. Elizabeth, are you able to chat?
Yeah. Hi. I'm Elizabeth. I've been on the commission, I think, for 2 or 3 years now. When I'm not doing sustainability, I am a nurse anesthetist and a Webster resident.
And Elizabeth was just recognized for being a superstar nurse. I think that's the title, right? So
Yeah, you got it right, Jamie. Superstar.
Okay, awesome. And then John,
What am I doing?
just
Name,
do a
rank,
quick
serial
little
number?
intro so Karen knows who we are.
Yes, it's great. My name is John Hickey. I'm new to the commission, a couple of months. But I've got environmental background for 10 years. I was the state director for the Sierra Club, so energy efficiency issues, building codes, energy efficiency, resource standards, a lot of stuff in that space.
Great. Yeah, so we'll get to that energy efficiency problem, I promise. Carson.
I'm Carson. I'm kind of like a student rep from high school and I've been passionate about sustainability too. And really, since I can't vote, it's not a whole lot I can do besides like clubs and stuff at school. So I thought that I would try to connect to school to get more stuff going.
Thank you.
I'm Andrea. And I love that she said, that. I was a teacher for 10 years, so I've only been on sustainability for a few months as well, but I would love to be able to get, more things in schools and grow up with them, just have it be more of a norm than like an extra thing would be great, but yeah, so now I'm just kind of like you and trying to find my own niche and not teaching, but still wanting to be passionate about this.
You know me. And this is Karen Anderson. She is going to be a non-voting member of the commission. Yeah. And so we're just doing a quick little intro around the table.
I'm Carla Lester and I'm a member of the student. And I'm always late.
That's okay. And you're an educator at Webster University.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm Paul. I've been on the commission about a year and a half, maybe coming up 2 years now. And I'm an attorney outside of this sustainability commission. I'm pretty interested in cycling and walking issues.
Vera Pagano, Assistant Director of Public Works. I guess I've been here now almost 3 months.
3 months. Yesterday.
Scott's assistants and been I guess since I started.
I'm PM Bliss, I'm a council member and I'm the liaison for the Sustainability Commission, and I've been involved with green space and sustainability for the last 3 or 4 years. So my role is to help, along with Jamie and Todd and you all, to help educate the council on what our priorities are and goals, and kind of service back and forth. That's it. Yep. Work on budgets quite a bit.
That's every year.
Yeah.
I don't want your.
And I'm Todd Ray, Director of Public Works. I'm the liaison for the Sustainability Commission. So whatever they need done, I try to make it happen. Like EV chargers here at City Hall, we're pushing that forward. There's a grant that we're working on to put them throughout the rest of the city. So, although we found out today that our police chargers are not going to be eligible for that grant.
Oh, well, we're doing
We can still get the Ameren incentives for it, but we can't get the grant for
right.
it.
What happened? Public.
It's
EV
only for
chargers.
public access chargers, and the ones that are solely for the police department's vehicles are not public access, so we can't put those in the grant. The frown on that.
Ask a clarifying question, or is this not appropriate?
Oh, no, that's fine.
So how are you saying, like, I know at a previous meeting, we talked about having funding for 7 public charging stations to go around
Oh, we've
Webster.
got more than 7. We've got 36 of them.
On that note, we're gonna hang tight because we are gonna get to this in Todd's update. So thank you, John. Let's see first, Todd, do we have any notes from like emails or anything like that? Okie dokie. Todd, usually we would roll right into our old business. And Todd, help me, do you want to update us with your things right now, or do you think that's in the body of our old business, all of the old?
No, it's fine. So, we're.
And I can kind of.
Sure, we're working on the EV charging grant. It's a minimum of $500,000 grant, and you can get up to 15 million. Obviously, we don't have 15 million. Well, Dr. Fields wants to get 15 million. I said, we don't have that. And now that we got to take police chargers out, that cuts our number down. So I gotta try and add more elsewhere to get it up. So we're adding more parks for locations, parking garage, the parking lot down at Crossroads, in the rec center, Deer Creek Park, Larson Park, Blackburn Park, Barbary Park. We're adding a whole bunch of them. So. However, Scott is like, well, you're taking away parking spaces, so I need to add more parking spaces. And we know you guys don't like pavement, so we're looking at doing permeable pavement.
Okay.
So the water can soak through into the ground. And we can do that as part of the grant.
Oh, great. I was just to say, is there evidence that like that all the parking spaces are needed?
Yes,
Okay,
because when they have
Events.
pavilions that are rented and events and other things, yeah, they need to have all the parking spaces. they
And
can.
just the-
And he says that not everybody that's come to those events are gonna have an EV vehicle, they can.
Right.
So then Dr. People said, well, they can park in the EV spots, and then he goes, yep, and
Right.
if somebody needs to park in there and charge their car, they can't.
Right,
We're gonna have the police department come and ticket them,
right,
because they will be signed for EV parking only. So,
okay.
I love the idea of the permeable paving and just as a way to help educate people that that's
Sure.
an option, you know?
Yep.
Is that more expensive, than normal pavement?
It is,
Okay.
yeah,
Good
it's about
question.
$40 a
Sure
square,
it is.
$40 a square foot. And regular concrete is about $25 a square. Yep.
So had I'm confused, you're saying you gotta put in a grant?
We're in the process, yeah. It was actually supposed to be due on May 30th, but they've extended it to June 13th.
In these locations you're reading off, is that if we get the grant?
Part of the grant, yeah. It's part of our application. We have to give them a map showing them where our
Oh,
locations
where they
are. We have to describe all the locations. They have to be ADA accessible. We have to describe how it's safe getting in and out of every area. It's a ridiculous thing
That's
that the federal
difficult,
government
yeah.
is asking for on this grant.
It's definitely challenging.
Yes.
Have you been able to find enough places you feel?
Well, I don't know yet. Now that we gotta take the police chargers out, I don't know yet.
What about gas stations?
Can the school count that too?
Well, yes,
Yeah.
Dr. Peoples is gonna reach out to the
Because
schools,
Dr. Urban really wants to get electric.
but the
vehicles
problem
for his
is
school.
the city has to own them, and if you're on
Yeah.
private property, we're not sure we can own them.
Okay.
So that's where the legal gets in.
Okay.
So,
Would you do an agreement, I wonder?
yeah, we'd have to have some kind of.
Some sort of agreement that we. own it.
And maybe a cost share on the
So once they're in, is it free to charge? Is that the idea or no?
25 cents a kilowatt hour.
Does that cover the actual operating cost or is that?
It's 8.5 cents is what Ameren charges us for the power to run.
So then that would pay for the power, then presumably some for
The
repair.
Maintenance repair costs, yeah.
So we'd be aiming more or less to break even?
Well, on the one that we've got installed at the public, in the city hall here. It's got two ports, so if I said that each port had 8 hours of use a week. We would make about $1,000 a year. So it's not very much. Dr. Peoples was not happy about this.
It's better than the other way around,
Yeah.
right?
Nothing coming back and just fixing it in potholes.
How much do they cost each?
Well, the one that's out here now is a level 2 charger, which is about $8,000. Dr. Peoples wants to go with the DC fast chargers, which can charge your vehicle and you can get a full charge. Well, you can get an 80% charge in 20 minutes on a DC fast charger.
Wow.
They're about 50,000 a piece.
1,000 a year doesn't sound like much.
Yeah.
Is that per unit without the infrastructure associated with?
That's just for the unit itself. Yeah, then you gotta run all the electrical, the conduit. You gotta upgrade the Ameren, you gotta pull and set a meter and a transformer. So it's all electric costs are a couple $100,000.
We're
And
looking
that's
at
where I can get up to 500,000.
Yeah.
So,
potentially a couple of locations with solar on
and
grid.
then, yeah,
like
then we're
that as
looking
a
at maybe putting solar canopies over the parking stalls
Yes.
to offset the cost of.
Energy, yeah.
So I don't want to second guess all the work that you've done, but I just have to ask, because I'm curious. Wouldn't it make sense to have fewer of these $50,000 ones? Because people would only need to use them for half an hour and then another car could use them.
She wants more.
Or,
She wants one at every
More fast,
single
But you
location.
need less, have less slow ones and more fast.
yeah, well, no, I mean, you wouldn't need as many.
Yeah.
That's what's, so they're more expensive, but they can charge way more cars
Yeah.
per.
Well, if the car gets out of the way when he's done, some of our,
Oh.
if you're gonna be doing something for 2 hours at the rec center,
I
your
see.
car's gonna be charged in 20-30 minutes,
I
but you're
see.
still in the rec
I
center for
see.
2 hours. So.
Got it.
Elizabeth, did you want to ask something?
I was just gonna say, as somebody who drives an electric vehicle, I almost always look for one of those fast chargers. The other ones don't charge you fast enough to get you enough miles to like have a substantial addition. So unless I'm gonna be somewhere for like, 4 or 5 hours, it's not worth it to go to one of the level 2 chargers. and, or like if you just need to top off the level 2 charger is okay. But for the most part, if I have to charge, I'm looking for that level 3 charger.
So how many of those are we getting?
Right now in the application, I have 36.
Oh, the fast
18
ones.
dual port.
Dual, okay.
Or the fast
36
charge.
total,
Yeah.
18 are the fast chargers.
18 dual chargers.
So they're,
Right.
it's a one,
It's different than
it's a
fast.
charging station that has 2 ports.
Okay.
So one station can charge 2 cars.
But they're still slow. I mean,
No, they're
compared.
fast. We're doing the fast charge.
All fast.
All
Oh,
fast
all
chargers in our
fast.
grant.
All fast. All DC fast
18
chargers.
dual port fast chargers, well, 36 total.
So those are the 50,000.
Those are all gonna be
Yes.
25 cents a kilowatt?
Yes.
Okay, all right, got it. I thought we had slow exams. Yes.
The
Now.
average cost is 15 to 35 cents a kilowatt hour, so I picked the 25 cents.
I was wondering where that came from.
John,
It's easy.
So I've got a question, maybe somebody here can answer who knows more about electric vehicles than I do, but I was looking at electric vehicles a couple of days ago because I want to switch to an electric vehicle. But I read something that said that some of the batteries can't handle the fast charge too much because it degrades the battery.
It ruins the battery quicker, yeah, sure. Depends on your vehicle.
So it's a choice to charge.
Yeah,
it on one.
right.
So it's kind of like the
Yeah,
different part,
you're-
you're
And it's-
quicker,
and it's
but then you're
And it's
cooking.
$25,000 to replace the battery
Elizabeth, do you want to
on a
add
$30,000
something?
vehicle.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
Yeah. John, for the best of your battery, you're supposed to charge on a level 1 or 2 at home. The more you charge on like a level 3, the faster your battery degrades. But for convenience purposes, when you're out, the level 3 is optimal. So I think most people, the way they do it is they charge at home on a level 1 or a level 2. And then if they're out and they just need a little bit extra, then they try to plug into a level 3.
Thank you, our only EV owner, for the help in clarifying the
I
strategies.
saw Anna get into a Tesla after our last meeting, so I think she switched too.
Oh, that's right.
What is that?
Amna
Got a test.
got a
Oh,
Tesla,
cool.
yeah. So Amna can speak to this as well for us, to help us through this. Okay,
And then the other good news that I have is the Elm project from Glendale to Watson. I got approved, well, I got recommended for approval for that grant. $2 million on a $3 million project.
that's incredible.
So you got approved for 2 million.
Recommended for approval.
Recommended.
The board will vote in August.
Go up a level of.
Yeah, that's
And
awesome.
who's getting that grant?
The federal highway.
And that's the Elm to Watson.
Glendale.
Glendale to Watson on Elm.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
And that's on what side again? Is that on
The west side will have the shared use path, 10-foot wide bicycle and pedestrian path.
Great work.
Yeah. Are the chargers coming from infrastructure law or inflation reduction?
No, I think it's the infrastructure.
Infrastructure?
Yeah.
Okay,
Because they're trying to get them all along the interstate highways.
yes,
So,
we have a prime spot.
so 6 of ours will be along the 44 corridor.
Okay.
The one at the Crossroads parking lot and the 4 at the rec center.
Okay, fantastic. And the solar canopies are part of the grant as well.
Yes. And the permeable pavement for extra parking.
Brilliant,
In the parking parks.
fabulous. Great, thank you. Any other bits that you want to share, or shall we jump into old business now?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Unless Pam has anything to add.
Well, Pam, do you want to go now or after business? I kind of just shuffled our order a smidge.
I would just say, the discussion typically goes when we start talking about budget, so maybe I can just not be 6th.
Okay. Yeah, well, then do you just want to go now? Since we're about. to
Well,
get
how
into
about, why don't we do old,
Old business and then you?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, as far as old business goes, we have a couple of points to kind of update. The SIUE intern. I am just curious to know some of the status with that process and if we need to do anything, the commission to move that forward with council. Because, or are we set on that? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Are you
Like,
talking to me?
yeah.
I think the council is planning to give you another 100,000 in next year's budget.
That's what I'm
Okay.
talking,
Okay, that's,
So that you
okay.
can use-
So then we'll be able
use that
to do
towards-
that.
yes.
right, that's this.
But we have to, because we've introduced the idea to council,
Once this is approved, then we can be good.
okay, all right, fabulous.
Yeah, once,
So
July,
hoping to
once,
get-
once June 20th, they give the
Because
third
we're
reading,
talking about fall, this person
Yeah.
is starting.
Yep,
the fall semester.
yeah, all right, fabulous.
And we
The,
did get our sustainability coordinator approved too,
Yes.
okay,
part-time sustainability coordinator.
Okay,
I
when is
just
that?
haven't had my
gonna be
grant, I haven't had my grant meeting yet to sign the papers.
Okay, when's that gonna happen?
I don't know.
When I talked to the district, they said they have to apply for that funding, they get their funding, and then they schedule the grant
Meetings.
meeting, so.
Ian,
soon
who's
as-
Ian?
Ian and.
Yeah.
Kathy,
Okay,
so, yeah,
okay, fabulous.
hopefully soon.
All right, that's awesome. That is really exciting. Holy smokes. Okay. All right, the Green Space
Sorry.
Advisory Commission and our collaboration to have an Eco Ed speaker series. As you know, Green Space has been working on the first half of this year. And we've been working toward scheduling the second half, skipping July because I think Olive Webster, am I the only one who thinks that Olive Webster skipped July?
I'm gonna be.
After the 4th of July.
Yeah, after the 4th of July, we're like, "Hi, everybody, bye. Okay. We won't have a meeting in July, so the third Monday, you will be free. Okay, so we did, usually, they have been looking at the third Thursday of every month, these are Green Space folks. Because that conflicts with the first day of school for the district, I didn't wanna I wanted more people to be able to attend that without stress or forgetting, so we moved that to August 10th. Jean Ponzi is coming to talk about mosquitoes. And she's just rolled out a really cool initiative with this app that helps kind of track what kinds of mosquitoes are in the region. And so I can send you all a little, she was on St. Louis on the Air about that. And so she's gonna come and talk to us about that. Then we have Mr. Eric Hayes, the middle school teacher at Hickson. We invited him and I said, it's up to him, you know, if he wants to invite some of his students, but they're doing really awesome things in that sustainability course that he created for the middle school. And I think it's it would be really great to highlight them for our community so that folks can learn about and see what's going on in the school. I just think he's doing great work. So yeah, so that's September, and I will get all these dates out to you all so you can populate your calendar accordingly. In October, we invited Jennifer Wendt, who's the representative from MRCTI, which is, I can give you this acronym later, but it's Mississippi River Cities and Towns Initiative. And they just a year ago did a massive plastic inventory audit of all the streams and tributaries to the Mississippi. And so she's lots to share. And John, you probably know Jenny from U City. Do you remember her? She was on all the 1STL
No, Colin Wellenkamp,
working
So,
groups.
executive director at MRCTI.
Yes.
I don't know. that-
Yeah, so Jenny's
Yeah.
kind of I think a year in the position,
Okay.
so, so she'll come and talk to us about single use and, probably point source pollution. And that's gonna be October, and then in November, we have Elizabeth's teacher, professor from WashU, Mike, what's his last name, John? Yeah,
What's he do?
he, health and sustainability, he connects makes the connections between more green space and more trees and wellness. And if Elizabeth you can't remember how to say his last name. Mike.
What department is he in? Do you remember?
See if Elizabeth's gonna unmute. Hang on one second.
Are you on?
Sorry, I
You on
Mark, Man,
Oh, Mantufo, Mark Mantufo.
Mark, sorry, I said Mike, my mistake.
Oh,
Yeah, okay, yes, thank you, Elizabeth. And thank you, sorry that I got that wrong, y'all.
That's fine.
Mhm.
Okay.
So then I don't see December as being a month that we want to have a speaker series either, so we'll just, leave it for those four.
And yeah, you have somebody for November already.
We have Jenny.
Okay.
Great.
Mhm. That said, everybody, I think we have a lot of ideas and I would like to continue the speaker series
Yeah.
for the next calendar year. And so let's just maintain, we'll just keep a little.
I wonder if there'd be an opportunity leading up to the holidays to just do something about simplicity. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah,
But maybe not a speaker series.
yeah, it could be something that we work on with our socials or the Friday
Yeah,
page or
yeah.
something along those lines. Yeah, yes, yeah.
How does this, I know one thing we also talked about is grow solar,
Yes, we were gonna get to that.
but we wouldn't use the Green Space Advisory Committee speaker series for that.
Not this EcoEds series, yeah, because the Green Space folks actually, they have one coming up on this Thursday evening at 6:30 in Larson Park, talking about watersheds. And it should be fantastic. So I'm really hopeful that somebody from our commission can go because I've attended all the speaker events and I cannot go to this
I
one.
can probably go.
Okay.
For an hour.
Okay, that's perfect. Thank you.
I will let you check.
And then in June 22nd, again, I won't be able to go, I'll be out of town. But this is a really exciting speaker that they have worked on getting from the Missouri Department of Natural Resources, who's a planner. And so Carrie Coyne, who's you all know, the chair of the Green Space Commission, she's come to council to invite them all to come, and we're trying to figure out a way to include Dr. Peoples and maybe Mayor Arnold in having a coffee with this woman to just try to get a really firm understanding of what we can be doing, what our potential could be.
Is this
So
the
that's-
Rhonda person?
Yeah. Mhm, that's June 22nd. So, and again, I can get those details
Yeah.
out to you all as well. Rhonda something, yeah. Mhm, might be. Mhm. So sorry, I'm bad with
No,
names
you're
today,
fine.
everyone.
And some paper, I'm old school.
You can see his calendar.
When the grid goes down.
You're on your bike with your handwritten calendar.
All right, so that's the speaker series where things stand right now. Any other ideas you have, send them my way and I'll keep them kind of tabulated and we can revisit this series again in the new year and the 24th. John, you have a
Two
question?
cookies.
Yeah.
Is there, you gave the month when these speakers are they the same time each month? Like
Yeah,
the
we're, other than August, we're shooting for the third Thursday, and I'm gonna try to keep it consistent in the library, meeting space. And, I know someone who, 'cause I think it would be great to be able to Zoom these
Oh.
as well for some
Mhm.
folks. I don't know, I want to at least offer the option, and so I know somebody who can try to help us out with that,
Mhm.
because Green Space hasn't been able to Zoom theirs. Because I just think that they are like, oh, we didn't even think about it.
And then my follow-up is, I'm not sure if this fits, but it seems to me it might be worth doing a session on all the subsidies available through the Inflation Reduction Act and the Infrastructure Act, like
Yes,
you can get subsidies for heat pump water heaters,
Yes.
for upgrading your
Mhm.
breaker board from 100 to 200 amps, for doing a home energy audit.
yeah,
And I bet like 99% of people don't know anything about that.
right,
But there's gonna be a lot of people who want to do something but think, oh, I can't afford it because they're not aware of these.
or how to even get started.
Mhm.
That's a really good idea. 'Cause
Yeah.
I had no idea that was even the same thing that's like, I can't really vote or control my household energy, but like, I had no idea about it until I came to the first meeting.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. I think it would be really exciting for our commission to be able to have some sort of educational rollout outside of the EcoEd speaker series.
that can be like a how-to guide on where to find this information and how to step through this. I have been asking around to like, Emily
Emily
Andrews, yeah. And she said that, I was like, do you know who I could have and come and talk? And she was like, I mean, maybe me. And so, that is something that I'd like to explore. And John, maybe you and I can have like a coffee and work out some of those details and see how we might want that to look. I just think it would be really great to have a landing page on the city's website where people could access this, and that would be a great service. And one of our missions for Forever Webster Groves is to help our community, access more energy efficient.
And I think there needs to be more resources for just people that are easy to get to. And so even if it's like, I went to like Edgar Road and it was like they put up the booths. And even if it's just that type of event,
Like a
and
tabling.
like this is for this, how you can save money this way, this way, this way. And then at the end, like in his QR code, go home and go to our website, the Webster Groves one. And if you need all this information, now here's all the paper, but go to this website and then there it is. And there's videos for you there. I don't know how you set that up. I'm not a techie person, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I know
Yeah,
you
I
do the
can
food
help with
state.
yeah,
Right, and so I talked to somebody about that and like, that's where you get kids involved too,
Yeah.
and like families and like her whole front yard, you can eat literally everything in her front yard, and she said she would come and speak just her house, and then I talked to the gardener too.
I think I've seen her house. They're all labeled, aren't they?
Yeah, it's all labeled, I mean,
Where is it?
it's
I don't-
in Webster,
I don't know
Forest.
the exact address, but I know I've been by there. I'm like, that's the house.
And she said she'd be happy to have,
Edible
like, speak
garden.
in front of kids, she's a dermatologist too, so she's working with people all the time, but she's like, I'd love to go to schools, I would love, to get more families involved of how to sustain just household food and
I just got my foodscape.
see.
So I'm happy to help with the IRA work.
That would be amazing. Okay, great. Sounds like we have a subcommittee.
Love a subcommittee.
Okay, that is awesome. We are going to, I'll reach out to you, both after, today, and we'll get something on the calendar.
Okay.
Okay. I like it. Okay, the Complete Streets Subcommittee. This is just the update that I can share that I know so far. We, with Paul's help, got a lot of really great language pulled together that will help, with the traffic folks, the Traffic Advisory Commission. We have, how do I want to say this? The Complete Streets thing. We didn't know what to call it, policy, ordinance. We don't really know yet where it's gonna land, so we're calling it basically a thing. We handed that information over to the folks here at City Hall. They are, as we know, in budget season. But Mayor Arnold gave me her assurance that this will not get forgotten or fall off the radar. And so what the next steps are is staff will look at the Complete Streets thing and give their weigh in from their angle, and then come back to us, and it'll be an exchange, a back and forth until we make this work. Yes.
The police chief and myself are reviewing it.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, thank you.
And that's a grant that we're gonna be applying for in July.
And is this part of the Safe Streets for All?
Safe Streets for All, which is the other grant that's Complete Streets.
Yes. You guys are up to your eyeballs, eh, great. Thank you.
You
for
don't
your-
know that.
555.
Or.
Okay,
Just follow her home.
and now the stormwater update on our stormwater master plan that we all have been talking about. We talked at length about it our last meeting. And we do have a plan. It's just 20 years old. And so there are some things that probably need to be reassessed. And I think the general vibe from our conversation last month was that, no, let's not spend money on more plans. And while I think that is, I can understand that logic. I also feel like it's kind of, and Pam made a great point. It's kind of important with applying for grants. Do you want to expand on that?
Can I?
Well, I think I would like to
Do you want to wait
talk about
till?
the budget amendments,
Okay,
because it's all one big
okay,
thing.
one big fuzzy,
One
furry little thing.
little big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tangly, but
Okay.
you know,
Yeah.
at least we've got a stake in the ground. which
Okay.
is Important,
Okay,
so.
So I have a question / comment. So I remember very vaguely talking about this, when we came up with the idea of making the request for whatever the thing is, the RFQ or whatever
Yeah.
that they
Oh, yeah.
responded to.
Right.
This was when we were meeting together with Green Space
Mhm.
and there was some reason why we needed the plan. It was so that we can be included in something else, right? Do you remember this? Like there was an actual reason, like maybe the Deer Creek Watershed Alliance or something, like. There was an actual, we can only be included in something if we have a plan.
I don't recall.
And
that.
And I don't
We're
remember,
members of the Deer Creek Watershed Alliance, or Watershed Alliance.
yeah, well, maybe it
We
was,
just had a meeting a month.
yeah, maybe it wasn't that then. Were you at that meeting?
We're at the
It was
Watershed
the
Alliance.
East-West Gateway one with
Yeah.
David Wilson and
Okay.
Stacy together.
Okay,
I think that was
Um,
just council members and mayor. Arnold.
No, whoever was on the subcommittee was there as well.
Yeah, yes, but I mean, like, there was no city staff yet. I don't think there was any city staff.
but I just have a memory that there was like, oh, well, in order to do X thing, I
It is
need a
a-
plan.
I mean, it's all. I'll just go ahead and start.
Yeah.
I've been attending a lot of, the National League of Cities is a good resource for us. They're located in Washington DC, and so they have a whole sustainability. Group of staff that are host in office hours once a month, and so I attend those. And so, and a lot of it was to help us navigate the IRA and just learn about the flood of money that's gonna be coming from the EPA and stuff. And so from that, the big message was you have to have a current plan in place to apply for grants, because if you don't have a plan, they're not gonna just give money for somebody to just
Mhm.
use without a structure behind it. So with that, that has been why we've been asking the conversation has been about how do you want to do this ARP money? We need to have priorities and a plan in place, just kind of for us, that Dr. Peoples and staff can work towards implementing some of these initiatives. So with the $100,000 pot that council provided last year for us to figure out how you all want to use it, or for you to figure out how you want to use it. We have already kind of got the 5,500 for the greenhouse gas inventory. And then based on the last meeting and some conversations, we've got it kind of divided this way. And this will be presented in a budget amendment form, which I filled out, presented to Dr. Peoples and Mr. Peterson. And so what we've got is $25,000 for stormwater management plan contribution. That is just a fraction of the fees that would be necessary. Then another $25,000 that would be to implement stormwater projects for greenhouse gas inventories that result from the plans and studies. That again, that's not very much money, but at least we show that we are committed as a Sustainability Commission to help with some of those initiatives. Then another $25,000 for talking about the Green Dining Alliance. That would be parts of a micro grant program for small businesses to join that. And then finally, the remainder is about $20,000, and that would be put toward education for residents to learn about EV charging or solar installation in their homes. The thought is to focus it on some, one or two things for residents to get involved in, rather than just letting them try to figure out what they want to do first. Just
Yeah.
offer two, And so that is where we are. We're also, the National League of Cities also has a grant navigator, and there's someone with their eye on Missouri. Just as far as finding grants and helping assist the city with applying for grants. Or anything we would like to do as a municipality.
What's the name of that group again? The National?
National League of Cities,
League of Cities, okay, thank
NLC is kind of the. Yeah.
Pam, with that, $20,000 for solar / EV, that we haven't quite designed yet, but have been in discussion, about, does that, what does that
Microgrants.
quite look like? Does that micro grants or
Education.
that the city can add on to whatever, already exists from the federal government? So that I feel like it could also really, incentivize folks to.
And as far as Grow Solar, which was any number of years ago, that was a very successful program where we helped subsidize some businesses and some homes to do solar. So we're gonna kind of reboot that.
Yep,
Cool. I saw that on the website and signed up and it said, it's coming.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we have solar as new business and it's our only item of new business. And so I'm gonna be protective of that because that's gonna be a thing that I'm very excited about.
So then tomorrow night, Dr. Peoples will present this and then we just discuss it and try to get approval.
It's gonna be a long meeting, right?
Yeah, I don't know how many budget amendments there are, but I know she is behind this, Dr. Peters is behind this, Mayor Arnold and Jamie and I have been working and discussing these for a couple months now.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see this on paper and will be discussed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anybody wants to attend
Yeah, welcome.
tomorrow,
Yeah.
the meeting, I'll be there. It's my new Tuesday night thing to do.
Every other
First and third Tuesday night.
Yeah.
I just.
There's
wanna
5
have
Tuesdays
an
this
extra
month.
week to finish my grades.
That's great. Okay. Oh, yeah, John.
This is a question for Pam, I guess, really. Is there any news on those decrepit houses next to Deer Creek Park?
That is still with FEMA. They are
FEMA.
still reviewing whether they're, gonna give us the money for, and then we have to split the cost to buy them out. I think they,
Split.
FEMA may
buyer-
only do 80 or 90% of the cost, and
then we have to kick in the rest. And there's only 2 houses we moved forward from that, and those were 2 that were substantially damaged. They were more than 51% or more damaged. And they had already, it happened to them before,
So they have
prior.
multiple
Yeah.
instances.
So 2 of them would be on the chopping block to get and then demolish.
Bought
And
out,
yet-
yes.
And the other 4 wouldn't be bought out and they would be presumably reoccupied.
That is essentially up to the owner.
Yeah, and under the rules of what they have to do to bring it up to code.
Yeah, so it's the responsibility of the owner, unless for some reason we suddenly feel generous, but I don't.
Yeah.
I think we're just focusing on the 2.
Right.
That have been moved forward.
But then do they need to have flood insurance to be able to get like an occupancy permit? In the city?
I was just looking at this packet about the flood permits. Permits for building in floodplains, and I don't know.
I think you're required.
It's
to have
been a
flood
while.
insurance If you're in a floodplain, I think you're required to have flood insurance. you're
If you
in
have a mortgage.
Yeah, the
If you have a
mortgage,
mortgage,
yes.
Right,
If you don't have a
The
mortgage,
lenders
you're not
are
required to have
required.
flood insurance.
yeah, but if your house.
So
is-
the owner could then, if the owner had it and just wanted to make it rental. If they owned it free and clear, they could rent it.
If they do any modifications to it, they have to meet codes. And the floodplain control codes that are in place.
So
They're
you
pretty
guys
restricted.
have a prediction of what's happening?
No, I have no idea.
Because a number of those buildings are still vacant.
What will the city do with the 2 that? it's presumably-
Well, they have to be developed. Well, they cannot be redeveloped. It's just gonna become
Part of the
green space, or it could become a parking lot. But yeah, just nothing that can be worth it in value.
Yeah.
Other than.
There has to be a
and
deed
space-
restriction on it, any building.
Could you
So could we sell those parcels with the requirements of keeping them on floodplain like the beer house down there?
No, nothing could ever be built
Nothing
on.
can ever be built.
There has to be a deed restriction.
Interesting.
And then, and these are these the last two on Pacific that are the two in question?
I am pretty sure, but I don't remember. I think it's.
When you're coming down the hill, there's the
Yeah,
last
there are two.
two.
It's definitely the first one. And the second one, I'm not sure. We just know them by the addresses. And I think they're both on Pacific. but I
They're
don't
both on
remember.
Pacific again, the first two on Mission. And
It's been months since we talked about the date, the addresses.
and is Parks down for adding that to Deer Creek Park? Adding a land once it's.
Typically, it has to be green space, you know, I guess that's an assumption, but we haven't heard anything from them.
Okay. All right then, do you feel good? Have we've gotten that conversation to a good,
Yeah,
Snapping point.
I think,
Thank
yeah, as
you.
long as you guys don't have any other
And
questions.
thank you for all your work on that,
Yes,
because
thank
at
you.
our last meeting, it was pretty up, like, we were like, oh, here we go, and now we've got a plan.
I mean, big picture, it was clear you guys didn't want to just keep planning and planning and planning if you weren't gonna take any action, so that was kind of the impetus for, well, let's divide it
I think that's.
and show a commitment at the same time, so, thank you.
Oh, one follow-up question tied to this. Pam or Jamie, do you remember when the last iteration of doing Grow Solar, what that budget was?
It was a long time ago, Mara, I
it was
think,
2013, I
I
think.
think it was,
That was
Yeah.
pretty neat.
that was and I think that was pre-Mara, unless that was the beginning.
Well, Mara's been here 10 years. I've been here 8, so
Okay.
she was here 13.
So
Yeah.
yeah, Mara would be Mara Perry from development, planning and development is the only one that really knows that.
And we can,
There are newspaper articles and things
Yeah.
refer
Oh,
to. See,
but I'm not, yeah, not sure what kind of details that article is for. So yeah, we'll get to figuring out what those figures look like as we get to our solar conversation, which we're almost there. All right, wow, update.
I'll make this super quick
Mhm.
because
Thank
the
you.
events already happened. So we had kind of an unfortunate series of weather predictions and it looked like it was going to be canceled because of predicted thunderstorms as late as almost noon on Sunday. And then those storms cleared, and so we went ahead with the events, but then it was 93 degrees and humid. So anyway, not many people came, versus historic numbers. I think it was about probably 60 or 70, just as we had like 250 or 300 last year.
Yeah.
But I just want to say thank you to Todd and the city for supporting the event
Yes.
and for the people that came and volunteered. And to Dave Buck as well. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
thank you
Yeah.
Yeah,
for leading on that. Thanks so much.
I'm not great.
Yeah, it was really great. It was so much fun. Hopefully, we'll be able to continue that partnership. I like it.
I didn't know, I was in from, spring has just begun.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know it
Further
was
north.
93.
Stuff here.
Yeah.
Oh, I have another, well,
Oh, yeah.
at the end, I can come back. to
Okay, we're gonna talk about solar.
The fluff.
So this is exciting news that I emailed you all that the city, Mara has spent time going through the code and removing, solar panels on, kind of restrictive language on, front facing, things that can go on roofs. I don't speak the language clearly. And so this is really incredible. So in historic districts and in business districts, folks are free and clear to put panels on their roof. We wanted to address that because Webster had a bit of a reputation among installers that they would just get snagged up here because it would have to go through ARB for some installations, and we've changed that language so that folks can more readily and easily go through the process to get approved, and everything's gonna be happening, the approval is gonna be happening through the planning department. And so with that kind of clean up here at City Hall, we want to, I think it would be great for the commission to roll out
its own little education effort and celebration, about how we can help all of our friends and neighbors kind of step into considering solar. That means signing back on with Grow Solar, and I spoke with Kat Golden, who's at Earthway Center. They, I think, determined, she said the board was voting on Thursday of last week, so I need to reconnect with her about their installer. They have an official installer for Grow Solar, which is a community buy program, solar buy program, saves folks like 4%. I know Elizabeth, are you able to chat? I know you have panels. Did you go through Grow Solar? I can't remember. Should I be able to chat?
Are you saying Groves? or
Grow.
GROW?
Yeah, Grow Solar. And so
What is-
it's all new language for you.
Grow.
It is pretty.
Yeah.
I
No,
think
I don't
let's
think-
grow
Yeah.
solar panels
Yeah.
on every
Yeah,
resident. So with that, and then helping people understand what's available to them through IRA. Those are types of things that I would love to see people be able to access on from us, from here at City Hall, of how, how to. Here are the steps you need to go through. Here's how easy this can be.
What incentives are out there?
Exactly.
Other, the Ameren incentives for solar are not what they used to be.
Yeah, they do.
Before I thought they were pretty.
I think those sets step
Really
down
Yeah.
over the years, but
Yeah.
with the Inflation Reduction Act,
So.
I feel like it's, like
My
there's
parents
still
and my brother
have solar panels, yeah,
I think he had a PIP, but then he got reimbursed, but it was
okay,
I think
almost
she did too.
Yeah, it's usually.
nothing.
yeah.
For him.
She paid it.
Yeah.
So it's a really exciting opportunity, and I really want to help folks understand what they have available to them. One of the ideas that I've had is a solar tour that help folks could like, you know how we did the No April signs, if people had solar on their house, maybe we could ask, have some signs printed and ask them to put a sign in their yard with a QR code.
Well, they
And
love the
people-
holiday house tour.
Yeah,
People love that.
right.
Yeah.
So the solar tour, it could be two, in my head, it looks like two different things. Both of them can happen. One would be like a specific day, where the homeowners would be willing to sit outside in the lawn chair and chitty chat with anybody who wants to roll by from, 12 to 2 on
As long
a.
as it's not 93 degrees outside.
Yeah, exactly. We'll pick a better day.
Do it in the fall.
And then
How efficient.
the
Like
other
November, when it's
option
still-
would be to have just kind of a self-guided tour. And then maybe some testimonials from our residents who would be willing to put their houses on that tour, just like have people roll by or walk by. Yeah,
Like
or
what
like a
they do-
landing page for what we did for,
Yeah.
Mo April.
Yeah.
So with
Little
just,
blurb of each house.
yeah. Mhm.
And honestly, if people were willing to share financial information, like, like, that's what people wanna know, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is how much did it cost? How much are you saving,
I think a lot of folks with panels want to share and talk about that. I have a neighbor who has quite an array and batteries in the basement, and he loves to talk about it. And so I just feel like if you're like into that sort of
Right.
thing, you want to share what you know. And you can't bring your house with you and people can't
Right.
comment on it. So if we go to them, then I think that would be kind of like another fun event. I would like to, so that's kind of what I'm envisioning right now. I would like to have a subcommittee to help organize something like this. I know Jeff Tomich, who couldn't make today's meeting, but I also know that he is interested in helping create this program as well. So does anybody right now think they want to? John? All right.
I would can volunteer to help, earlier we were talking about having some informational materials on the city website about the Inflation Reduction Act and how people can use it.
Mhm.
That's sort of in my wheelhouse,
Okay.
and I could help whoever,
Got you down.
put those things together.
Mhm. Okay, fabulous. Thanks.
Writing up things to explain things to people, that's me.
Okay.
Oh, I'll send you some links, Rewiring America.
Oh, yeah.
It's got some killer.
Great, that would be great.
Outfit out of California, but they're like the gold.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's no need to reinvent the wheel
Right,
here,
no,
right? Yeah.
Absolutely. And then maybe I can talk to Jenny about.
It's
Getting it on
we can
the-
have like little socials type of outreach and yeah. I know Elizabeth would probably want to chat about solar panels and be a part of that as well. And then.
I'm
we
a
can-
failed solar installer, so you know.
Oh, you've got that tree. Keep the trees, speak for the trees. Okay, so that is, am I missing any bits of important information from the solar, Pam? Are we good?
Yeah.
Okay, so I would like to, at first, Pam had a great idea, like, oh, let's do something for the solstice, the summer solstice, and we'll get organize all this stuff. And then I was like, oh my gosh, the green space has that speaker. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I want to be out of town. So we'll meet, the solar group will meet, and then we'll kind of determine a timeline and see
Maybe
about.
the act-
Oh, yeah. The other thing is, and I like feel such a sense of urgency now that all of these things are available to, to residents. I want to like do it now. But just like bear with me with my level of excitement and enthusiasm. Like I want to do this the right way as well. So I think we have a great first step with getting the solar language cleaned up in our code. And so let's make sure we're stepping through this in a way that makes sense for all folks. So you all can tell me to settle down. Okay. I think that is all that we have for new business as of right now, except that I want to make a note that tomorrow is that council meeting. We'll be talking about budget. I'm going. I don't know if anybody else has time to spare to attend. And then Thursday, like I mentioned, is that Larson Park green space. I will send a note to everybody.
I put it on my
Third Thursday already? This week is the
I
third Thursday?
think
Yeah.
might-
It is,
I know.
because my book
Mid-May.
club meets on the third Thursday and. Yeah.
What was it? That was the speaker series?
The speaker series, yeah, is Thursday.
Today's the 15th.
It's unreal how time flies. We're having so much fun. Yeah, Jack.
Can I ask another question for Pam? Because it's city council business. Do you know what the schedule is for the council to update the residential and commercial building codes for Webster Groves?
Well, I mean, I think we're already on like the 2018 code update.
So 2018 has been adopted,
Yes,
commercial and residential.
I
believe so.
It comes from Mara, who updates the codes. The date is always kind of retroactive, behind where we are in real time. So I know we had a code update 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, because typically it's every 3 years that when the IEC, who is it?
IRC?
There's the International Codes Council, the ICC puts out updates for munis and
Mm-hmm.
et cetera. So it might be coming up if it was 3 years ago or 2 years ago.
Correct. It might be coming out.
Does the
In-
county have does the county approve that and then municipalities hop on board with that? How does that, do you know? Or is this a
We
Mara?
just
Family
picked it
units.
with a-
You can go either way.
It's just
Okay.
Webster.
Okay,
And
And
then-
municipalities usually do wait till the county adopts it first.
okay, maybe that's what I was.
Yeah.
when historically the county's had a very weak code.
Mhm.
So it's been an ongoing problem, but and do you know, I guess anybody, whether the energy code was substantially changed in the course of the 2018 adoption?
I do not know.
I don't either.
I don't deal with the building codes.
Oh, that's another
You
question
could
for
ask Mara, yeah.
Yeah, because in
Okay.
terms of energy efficiency, that is the
Got it.
single most important thing we could do. And
That's a Mara question.
Yeah,
but knowing that the
But that only applies to new buildings and renovations, right?
Yeah.
Well, between between the new buildings and renovations. what it's just-
One on every street.
Yeah.
Permit. Yeah, different than, yeah, right.
It's everything.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
John and Karen, I say let's put that on our list of, and we can maybe send Laura some questions for us to
Yeah.
address.
Yeah, 'cause we want to get ahead of that because the
Yeah.
thing is. The HBA has a full-time
Oh, yeah.
staff who only goes to municipal meetings to shoot down. The energy efficiency chapter of the code. And so we just don't want to be caught. flat-footed. The whole time I was sitting in a meeting. I was sitting next to the woman who does it, that's why I know, and she said, oh yeah, I do
The lobbyists.
hundreds of these meetings every. And so they generally win because they're way ahead of me.
Right.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Good
Tomorrow.
Thanks for bringing that up again. I know we've talked about that, John. Thank you. Okay, everybody. Are we feeling good?
Yeah, I have one more thing she wanted to add.
That's high,
yeah, I
that's
did
a
wanna-
high bar.
I did want to just let you know that on Wednesday morning, the Development Commission is having a coffee at the Recplex from 8:30 to 10:30, and they have it organized as stations. And the whole idea is, as well, they have a small pot of money from the ARP, and they want to hear from business owners about where they want to put those, they would like to put those efforts. So there are gonna be, like I said, different stations. I know that there is a Green Dining Alliance station.
Okay.
And don't have those notes with me, so I don't remember exactly, but they will each have a staff or a commission member there to talk about that. And I think there are about almost 50 people have RSVP. And in order to RSVP, sign up via the barcode.
Yeah, and I will be there with Green Dining so that we
That's
can reach
great.
out to restaurants and.
I didn't know much about, is green dining like? Does that also include if they have extra food that's going somewhere or not?
So they have a whole,
Like that?
set of recommendations.
Okay.
And different
They
Starbucks.
can do that or?
Yeah,
Okay.
so they have there's like a spectrum
Yeah,
of.
something popped up the other day and I was like, yeah, I don't want restaurants. You know, somebody go around
Yeah.
and get the food that they're not going, it's gonna go bad or they can't use it or they can't sell it. And
Like Einstein's throws away their bagels at the end. of the
Right.
day.
I worked there in high school.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would take them.
But I think it's a liability thing, because I used to work at Tippins.
Right.
And we would throw the pies away.
Right, that's like.
I'm like,
yeah.
We're very brave.
It's
in that
weird. I
section.
can't believe
I don't know.
that.
I gotta tell you.
So that's.
Right, or I had
Malarkey.
students that go home and had no idea what was gonna come until Monday.
Right.
You know, it's like, can I
Right.
deliver?
That's like,
Or,
there's a term for that. like,
Capitalism.
yeah, that-
okay, I don't wanna keep people here. long.
No, but that's another
Okay, that's-
thing.
okay.
Yeah, but
Curious.
that is something that the Green Dining Alliance wants to look into, but food waste is a massive issue.
Yeah.
Okay, our next meeting is Monday, June 26th. Note that it is not the third Monday.
Yeah.
Because I will be out of town. as
Well,
of
the
the-
third Monday is Juneteenth.
Oh, that's right, and that's good, okay.
I will probably not be here that day.
The 26th, okay, that's fine. It's fine.
gonna
That's out of
say I'll
town
be at the
too, yeah. So that is our next meeting and hope y'all can make it. If not, no biggie. All right, a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
Carla. Second.
Second.
Hey, everybody. 5:05.